Hello everybody, welcome to another little different video. Today I'll be taking a look at the character bios that they revealed for the Persona 5 animation that is coming out in 4 days, I think, as of when I'm recording this video. I'm personally really excited for it. I still have some doubts about it, but I'm still hyped nonetheless. Especially because I finally get around to finishing the damn game. So, this will be nice to see. So, recently they have been revealing these character bios and also gave some art along the way. Everything drawn in the style that the show itself will have. So I figured I'd check them out, record myself while doing so because I'm bored. And I want to share my opinion on this series a bit more with people. It's really nothing special, so let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, starting off with the protagonist, Ren Amamiya as they call him now. And it's Ren Amamiya, not Amamiya Ren. I hear people always call him by the last name first, which would be fine, you know, Japanese way of saying it and all. But I don't get why people then say, you know, if people call him Amamiya or Ren, then I would expect them to also call the others Sakamoto Ryuji or Niijima Makoto. Like, you gotta pick one. I don't know why. It's just a personal pet peeve, I guess. But I digress. Ren Amamiya, VA Jun Fukuyama. A second-year high school student who just moved to Tokyo and is transferring to Shujin Academy this spring. Following a particular incident, Ren's persona awakens. He finds lodging at a coffee shop in the outskirts through his parents' connections and is about to begin his student life in the city. Seems like the basic info that you'd need, I guess. So, talking about the design, I personally don't have that many issues with it. Like, he seems fine. I guess he seems a bit long. Like, he seems a bit stretched out. But it's not too noticeable. And I'm pretty sure that I feel like we won't be really seeing much of like these angles at all in the show. And if we do, then they'll most likely be in his Phantom Thief gear, and I'm pretty sure the trench coat will cover up most of his Togami legs. He seems fine and all. Like, even here, he seems alright. There's just two things that kind of bother me. First of all, and that's just... it might just be me, but I think his hair is a bit less fluffy or long, I guess, than it was in the game. Not just on the 3D model in the game, but also in the anime cutscenes. I felt like his hair was longer in that, and I feel like they shortened it up a bit here. Which I'm not too big of a fan of, but it's not too noticeable. It's just a minor thing. What I do notice, though, is that Ren's not wearing his glasses. He's wearing glasses all the goddamn time outside of the metaverse, so I'd expect him to wear them in this art as well. I don't know why he's not wearing the glasses, so I don't know what's up with that, but overall the design is okay. I don't mind this one. Moving on, Ryuji Sakamoto, VA Mamoru Miyano, I hope I pronounced that right. A second-year high school student at Shujin Academy. Though he is compassionate and fiery, he's labeled a problem child and avoided at school due to his outwardly rude behavior. Yeah, that seems like all you really need to know at first about this guy. There's more to him, of course, in case you're watching this without having any knowledge of Persona 5. So, there is more to him than this little paragraph. Obviously, of course. I don't mind this design as much either. I would actually say that Ryuji has one of the better ones. Like, at least in the animation. What does bother me, though, is that Ryuji seems incredibly thin in these. Like, he has this really thick neck that I would expect him to have, considering he's more like he's the sort of like sports type of guy. Like he does work out frequently, But if he does work out a lot, then I would expect him to be a bit thicker, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. A bit more extra thick. Like, he seems incredibly thin, like, in the torso area. And I guess that's okay. But what's personally really bothering me are his legs. This guy is a track runner. And runners usually have more to their legs than this. Like, he's walking on chopsticks. I'm not sure if he was like that in the games, but it wasn't as noticeable as it is here. Because, like, my god, this is... I'm surprised his legs are not broken. What I do have to say, though, what I really love is the swirl in his hair. I love this. I don't know why. It looks stupid, but I love it. I love that about his design. He had that in some of the anime cutscenes too. You don't notice it much on the 3D model, but now it's much more prominent. So, on to Kamaki, VA Nana Mitsuki, a second-year high school student at Shujin Academy and a beautiful quarter-American girl. Although she has an innocent and honest personality, she has a hard time fitting in due to her conspicuous looks and spends most of her time in solitude. Because of that, she deeply values her one and only friend at school, girl Shiho, who they don't mention. Which makes sense, I guess. If I'm gonna be honest, I feel like out of all of these designs, An is the only one who looks better than the game version, in my opinion. I don't know why I think that. I guess I could appreciate her hair a lot in this one. Like, what I'm noticing is that her hair looks a lot longer than it does in the game. Like, look at this. This is... If she did not have her hair in, like, these pigtails, these would go down to her hips, I think. Like, at least, like, when they... this part of the art. I can't English today, I'm sorry. Also, I just like how many shapes she has going on here. Like, she is supposed to be very curvy, and she is, but... I guess not to the extent that in the game. I guess that's one thing that the game gets a bit more right. There's more going on in terms of curves and shapes. Not just with An, but with the guys as well. And the other girls in the party. Here, everybody just looks incredibly long and thin. But for An, it kind of works. So, I'll give it a pass here. Also, another thing I noticed is that she's missing her earrings in this one. I don't know if that was intentional or if they just forgot. Either way, it's not that important. It's just something I noticed. I especially like this one, though. Like, out of all the full body shots, I think An has the best ones. Like, nothing about these looks off in my eyes. So, I like these a lot. These are some good designs. Morgana, VA Ikue Otani. A strange cat-like creature full of mystery. After being saved from a palace by Ren, who had initially wandered into the metaverse, it decides to live under the same roof with him. Despite its tendency to hurl insults, it is a very devoted friend. I don't know why they address Morgana as it here, when it's pretty clear at this point that Morgana is a guy. Female voice, but that's a guy. The cat's a guy. Yeah, there's not really much I can say about the design, really. It looks like a cat. Not sure about the cartoony looking version. There's not much there. There's not much there that you can mess up about a cartoon cat like Morgana. So, just moving on. This one I have several issues with. Yusuke Kitagawa, VA Tomokazu Sugita. Or Sujita? I don't know how to pronounce Japanese names. Unless I hear them. An honors student in the fine arts department at Kosei High School. He attracts more than a few stares with his handsome look, but exudes an air of ascent. He seems like a prick. After his mother's death when he was young, he has lived with and trained under the esteemed Japanese artist, whose name is Madarame, by the way. What we just say the wrong fucking names? Like, he lives under the supreme master Shiho. Shiho is now Yusuke's master. That's canon now. I made that canon. Comedy. I'm making comedy, guys. This is some good commentary. It's late at night. Don't judge me. Yeah. Yeah, owing him his own creative talent. Yeah, this design looks off. Something about Yusuke's face just does not look right here. Here, actually in both of these. This looks strangely compressed. It does not look good. The body is fine, although he definitely has a serious case of the Togami legs. Like, Yusuke is the worst case of these really long looking designs. Here as well, he just looks incredibly stiff and long, and I don't like that. He looks like a candle. And his face looks... like, actually his face looks off in most of these. Not so much in this one. I like his face here. He just looks like he just woke up on a Monday here. Like, that's a fucking Monday face right there. And this one just looks... it looks alright, but still something about it doesn't seem right. So, not feeling Yusuke's design here. It's strange because on first glance these just look like the designs they have in the anime cutscenes in the games, but there are some differences here, like, and those differences are kind of off-putting to some degree. Next up, Makoto Niijima, VA Rina Sato, a third-year student at Chujin Academy. She maintains excellent grades and good conduct. While serving as the student council president, her honor student qualities include her earnest personality and unwillingness to compromise on even the most minor of matters. That's an oddly written bio, first of all. They're like, yay, she's great, but then they just throw on in, oh yeah, she's a lone wolf that doesn't take help from anybody. They just throw that in there, in the middle of all the good stuff. Like, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, this design is fine. It's the full body shots that are kind of weird to me. Like, first of all, I hate it when just anything really, not just animes, when in somebody's art style, it looks like the nose is at a side angle when you're clearly looking like straight at the front of the face of the character. I don't know why that is, but I hate that. And here it looks the most prominent. It kind of looks like that here as well, what with the bridge of the nose being kind of highlighted here, but not as much here. That bothers me. I don't know why, but it just doesn't look right. And other than that, Makoto actually doesn't look like the others in terms of how long and thin she looks. Here she is just thin. This is just the straight up original Makoto design, except that she's incredibly thin. Like, you could break her arm with one hand, I feel like. Like, look at this. She looks so scrawny. If that's the right word. I don't know, I'm German, don't judge me. But she just... For somebody who does Aikido, which is a form of martial arts, she looks way too thin. I would expect her, at least in the arm department, I would expect her to have a bit more going on. That's actually something that kind of bothers me with her original design in the games as well. I would expect her to be a bit more buff, but she isn't. Like, for somebody who straight up performs a form of martial arts, her main method of attacking in the game is punching and kicking things. I would expect her to be a bit more buff. Not too buff, not like Sakura Ogami levels of buff. But at least a little bit. Just a little bit, like, more mass. I don't want her to be, like, fat or incredibly muscular. But a hint of a muscular biceps is really not too much to ask for. At least the legs are okay. Like, these are not too thin. Still very thin, but not too thin. And something about her body is also kind of weird. That might just be me, but am I the only one who, like, it feels like there is no torso there. It feels like this just goes, this is all just her upper body. Like, it flows too well. I guess the main word I'm looking for is she's too flat. Not in the boob department necessarily, but more in the just overall body department. She lacks curves. She's too linear, I guess. She's that's a problem I have with all of these designs. They don't have shapes. They're too linear. The song just ended. Do I have it on loop? I think so. I do, actually. Okay. Well, I have been complaining about this part a lot. These I love. Her just straight up portrait shots. These look great. I have actually nothing to complain about here. Especially this one. This one looks awesome. I love it. Like, that one is my favorite piece of art that came out of all of these, like, pieces of key art that they have. I love that one. So, this one's kind of hit and miss. Moving on, Futaba Sakura, VA Aoi Yuki. A genius 15-year-old girl with otherworldly calculation programming skills, but lacking in interpersonal communication and following a certain incident, she has become a shut-in. Although she is at the age of a first year in high school, she has not been to school since graduating middle school. This one is okay. There's just a couple of things that are kind of off-putting. First of all, this fucking face. Like, the side angle here with the mouth looks weird. It's like she's trying to eat her lower lip. That's what it looks like. And these are okay. This one is okay. Here, her head looks kind of strangely long. I don't know. That might just be me. But her head looks weird here. That might just be because she's not wearing her headphones, though. Like, the headphones are not present in these. And usually that's how we see Futaba. She's usually wearing her headphones. And when she's not, then she's in her Phantom Thief gear with those night vision goggles. So seeing this is kind of weird. This one, though. This one looks odd in the eye department to me. In fact, now that I look at it, it looks kind of like Catherine with a K from Catherine. To be fair, that's also Atlas property, so the art styles are bound to be somewhat similar. But that's just straight up Catherine. That just looks like straight up Ginger Catherine to me. This full body shot, though, is nice. I like this one, especially with the whole, like, holding the glasses thing. There's, like, a little bit of, like, posing going on. I like that. What I don't get is why Futaba's legs are super thick compared to all of the others. Like, those are some extra thick legs. Everybody else looks so, like, thin. Like, she has thicker legs than Ryuji, who runs track, who should have more muscular legs. And Futaba is just bringing that thickness out of nowhere. Like, I guess I have to commemorate the artist, though. Futaba is the closest to her original game appearances, not including Morgana, so they'll get a pass. And last but certainly not least, we have Haru Okumura, VA Haruka Tomatsu, a third year at Shujin Academy, and a daughter of the president at a major food manufacturer. Despite her affluent and sheltered upbringing, she's keen-eyed and observant. While she communicates well with everyone, she seems to avoid any deep connections. These look fine, actually. I actually really like Haru's design in the animation. Maybe it's because of her massive sweater. I think that's probably it. The fact that she's wearing that massive sweater makes it seem less like she's stretched out and super thin. Again, her legs do seem like they're carrying a lot there, but it's largely because of the sweater, probably. Like, there's shapes going on here. I think that's why I like it so much. Haru still has that fluffy hair. In fact, it looks more fluffy than in most of the anime cutscenes of P5. And with the sweater especially, I don't mind the thin arms as much. Like, it works, kind of. Like, there's stuff going on here. It doesn't look like... You don't notice how long and thin everything is in this one. So, Haru might just be the best design out of the bunch. Together with An, I think I like Haru's design the most. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Haru just straight up has the best design out of all of these for Persona 5 the animation. Like, I even like these shots, although I think she's supposed to be smiling here, and I don't see it. It looks a bit weird. She looks like a rabbit, actually, kind of. Yeah, that being said, that's all of the characters that they have revealed so far, at least in the art department. And I guess that's also the most prominent ones they need. That's the main party right there, unless they include Goro Akechi at some point. But yeah, that being said, that's all of the designs. Overall, while I am excited for Persona 5 the animation, and I think it looks, animation-wise, really good, I'm skeptical about these designs. Like, I know they're supposed to just be the straight-up designs from the video game, just in an anime form, but they just look off to me. Most of these look, like, with the exception of An and Haru, and I guess Morgana, but Morgana's a fucking cat, there's not much you can mess up there. These look weird to me. Like, but as I said with every single one of these, the main issue is that there's not much going on in terms of shapes. There's just long, linear lines. That's a thing that lines do, Dan. Lines tend to be linear. But what I'm saying is that everything looks like it's made with a ruler. Like, they used a ruler to make every single shape. And I hate that. I like more round shapes. Like, I want stuff to have, like, be there in the design. Like, they're not fucking robots. Robots can be angular as much as they want, but these look weird to me. I'm repeating myself, but whatever. I'm just trying to make a point. What I'm saying is that I hope that they look better in their Phantom Thieves costumes, because as of now, these look kind of odd. They just... I can only say it again. These look too long and thin. And there's not much going on in terms of, like, good shapes. The use of shapes. With the exception of Haru and to some extent Futaba. So, not a big fan of these designs, to be honest. Not a big fan of the art style that they have going on. I especially don't get why they look like this. Because isn't A1 the studio that made the anime cutscenes in Persona 5? Like, it makes no sense to me. It's strange. But, whatever. Maybe they will look better later on. Maybe they're a lot better in motion. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the fact that they're not in motion just yet. But yeah, that being said, what are your thoughts on Persona 5 the animation so far? Are you excited for it? And what do you think of these designs? Leave your opinion in the comments below. I'll definitely read all of them, because there's usually not much going on in the comment section anyway, so I can actually read everything. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little rant and my lack of being able to express opinions and my lack of being able to read. Maybe we'll do this again sometime with other things. I don't know. I wouldn't know what else to do. I want to do like more talk show-ish videos where I share my opinions on things. So if you have any suggestions for topics, like for videos, it'd be appreciated. I'll definitely see what I can do. That being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. See ya.